Hey, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay, everybody? Okay. Uh, I hope it's going good so far. It's a pretty good event. It's a full house this time, so that's pretty good. What I'm going to talk about today is how we took up the analytical journey in Meritor, how we went from data to decision, how we took up our data, and what we did actually to reach to that level of analytics, which probably a manufacturing company should be. So, and you have my email address, my contact information here. If you cannot ask me any question because of the time, you can always send it to me, and I will try to respond to whatever I can. And so this is what we are going to stick to. I'll just do a quick introduction about Meritor, what we do, and things like that. And then we will see where we were in terms of data and analytics, and then what we did. And before that, I'll just touch upon why we needed analytics. I mean, what was the need for analytics? And then what we did, how we did it, and then where we are today, and what we are looking for in the future, okay? And there are some quick tips, kind of like what we learned along the journey, what are the things which you probably should be aware of if you're taking a similar journey. And then I'll open it up for Q&A quickly for maybe 5 minutes in the end. But if you have any question which just pops up in your head, and if you want to ask, just feel free to ask in between. So no issue with that one. So let's see what is Meritor. So like you see this is our RT14 Tandem Excel. This is basically our the product which Meritor actually makes. So we make a lot of Excels. Meritor started in 1909 as a Timken Excel in Detroit, and then it went through a lot of transformation, a lot of acquisitions, mergers, and everything. And today we are Meritor. We are headquartered here in Troy, maybe about a mile from here, mile south from here. We are approximately 8,600 employees in 9 countries, so we are a global company. We have 31 manufacturing facilities across the world, then 7 global offices. We have 10 engineering centers, one of them here in Troy, and then we have one in Amsterdam, one in Bangalore. So 10 engineering centers and then 10 distributor centers across the globe. So we also have an aftermarket division. So we have distribution centers for our products in 10 locations. Our main business, as I said, truck. We make parts for truck, axles, drive lines, brakes, all of these things, tire inflation system. And then we also do trailer parts. Aftermarket is another one which we do, and we do a lot of defense and specialty products. So a lot of defense vehicle, you see the big vehicles, we make axles, driveline, and parts for those vehicles too. So quickly, who am I? So I actually graduated as a mechanical engineer back in 1991. And then I worked on the shop floor. It was a foundry. I was every day working in around 500 degree Fahrenheit temperature. Within few weeks, I found it's not probably my cup of tea. I can do it. So I call it a quit. And then I started doing a lot of marketing. So I was doing a lot of marketing of these precision equipments like coordinate measuring machine, 2 coordinate machines, 3 coordinate machines, a lot of these things. And then while I was doing it, I completed my MBA in finance. That was always my very favorite subject. And I was doing a lot of these stock trading. I was a sub-broker for one of the stockbroker. So that's where I completed my MBA. And somehow around 1999, I don't know why, I ended up in IT. And it was, I call it like accidental. I'm an accidental IT person. I still consider myself as a mechanical engineer. And that's the reason my whole career is in automotive industry, because I love it. I can go on the shop floor, I can see what's happening, I can relate to it, I can relate to the processes on the shop floor, I can understand how manufacturing works and everything. So here I worked in various automotive companies. Ford was the biggest one. I worked in Ford Motor Company for about 8 years, between 2005 and 2013. And then briefly I worked for Lear Corporation, and since last year I'm working for Meritor. So, and music is my passion, singing is my hobby. I love singing. Wherever I get a chance, I'll start singing. Not today, maybe. And I write poetry. That's my way of reducing stress. So whenever I'm stressful, or maybe I'm super excited, or I'm feeling down, I'll just close my eyes, pick up a pen and paper, and let all the thoughts float in my mind, and I'll try to pen it down. So that helps me in reducing my stress and taking away all those negativity which is flowing in the mind. Community service, another thing. Whenever I get a chance, I love to do community service, Habitat for Humanity, Meadowbrook Hall, a lot of Oakland Family Services. Wherever I get a chance, I'll always do something to help the community, because giving back is what I think it's kind of one thing we should all do. So where were we? I just wanted to talk about that. So this is our actually one of the driveline, or one of the other products I was talking about. So this Permalube driveline. So this whole journey, the business intelligence as we speak, it started back in 2000. That's when Meritor actually realized that we need to do something in BI, and that's where they started. We were doing traditional BI. We had about 3-4 data warehouses, trying to bring the data from various sources into data warehouse. Oracle is our ERP system, so most of the data we have, it sits in Oracle. Pretty much what we were doing is just getting the data from Oracle and just put it into data warehouse, because Oracle is our the system. Everything we do in Oracle, and anything we don't do in Oracle, somehow it ends up in Oracle. So it just somehow we have an interface and everything goes into Oracle. I don't know why, but that is how it is. So we started doing that. There was no focus on data quality, no focus on data cleansing. It was more kind of bringing the data, facilitating it for the business people, making it available to them, and mainly through like cubes. So that was our kind of the analytical platform for quite some time. And then reporting was our analytics. So we were considering reports as analytics. So we started with Web Focus, did a lot of reports in Web Focus. Then eventually we converted to SQL reporting services. And then this is what it is. I mean, it was just the reporting. All the analytical needs, it's not that there were no analytical needs. There were a lot of analytical needs in the company, but they were all fulfilled by business customer. They were taking the data, putting it into Excel, maybe Access, creating nice analytics and do whatever they have to do. So we have tons of Excels floating around in the company, very, very typical for a manufacturing company. It's not a good, not a bad thing, but it's very typical for any manufacturing company. They live and breathe on Excel files. Access was big thing. Anytime people want to do something, they will take data into Access and just build like maybe reports or nice looking charts and everything in Access. So that's what was happening. So there was no focus on master data, and we were not integrating data between functional areas. It was very siloed. Like, this is my supply chain data, this is my order management data, this is my warranty data. There was no connection. Nobody was like trying to see that, hey, how my warranty data relates to my sales data, how my warranty data relates to my quality data, and those kind of things were not really happening. So, and then we were, as I said, anytime there was any data drilling needs, it was all done through cubes. So we will create cubes, give it to the business customer. They will take the cube, load the data in an Excel file, in a kind of a pivot table, and then find out whatever they have to find out. So that's what we were mostly doing. And then we were spending a lot of time in data collection. So this is basically this pie chart. I love this pie chart. This is how basically we were doing it. We were spending a huge amount of time in collecting the data, but very little time in using that data for making any decisions or taking any information out of it. So the idea was actually, when we started this, to turn around this chart. So make the blue portion like green and make the green portion blue. So that's what we were trying to do, that spend more time on decision making and less time on collecting the data. Now, turnaround time for data discovery or reporting needs were high. So it was typical a project management kind of activity. You get a requirement, you figure out where the data is, bring the data in the data warehouse, create web focus report or SSRS report, whatever was available at that time. So then it was taking long time because we were doing that whole kind of a cycle. So the turnaround was very long for any needs coming from the business. And there was very little focus on using data for decision making. It was more kind of operational reporting. So they are just trying to look at the report and see, okay, are we going good? Everything is looking good. I mean, that's kind of the operational reporting environment we had. And we stayed like that until 2017. So that's when actually we realized and we started the journey. So this is our gearbox and transfer box. So why we felt the need for analytics? I mean, why there was suddenly like we thought that, okay, we need to bring analytics in this country, this company. Now, by the way, this whole thing this whole thing I'm talking about, it was an IT initiative. It didn't start from the business. So when we brought analytics in Meritor, it was driven by the IT, and we actually started driving this whole thing. So why data analytics? So if you look at the definition of the analytics, there are tons of definitions available. But for most part, the definition said it's a combination of process and tools, okay, to take your data and get some information out of it, okay? So you want to draw some conclusion out of your data using some systems and processes, right? That's what analytics is. But for me, the definition of analytics is this. There are two important words here. One is the desire, and another word is the specialized computer systems and tools. So analytics is nothing but a desire to use your data to get some meaningful information and then make meaningful decisions. That desire has to be there. Otherwise, you can put like tools and systems in place. You can spend $1 million in buying nice, beautiful tools. If you don't have desire, it will fail. And I have seen it failing many times. So it is the desire within the company to take that data and make some meaningful decision out of it. Okay, that is basically what the analytics is. And we had seen that desire in the company. We had seen that, okay, people are willing to take the data and use the data to make the decision, but they were not able to do it because there were nothing available. They were probably, if they had to do it, they were just doing it in maybe Access, hire somebody, like do some Access analytics, and that's about it. So, and then quickly just the type of analytics is descriptive, like diagnostic, and predictive analytics and prescriptive analytics. So basically one is, it tells you what's going on. Another one which tells you that, okay, why it is happening. Okay, so why my product is failure in one region, not in another region. Okay, that's kind of a diagnostic analysis it gives us. And then predictive tells me, hey, if that is happening, I can predict what's going to happen next year. I can predict, okay, how much money I need to put in the warranty claims for next year's budget because, hey, this is how warranty is happening or warranty claims are coming up. So that's predictive. And prescriptive is actually when you move into the action. So when you can say, hey, if you are selling this product maybe in Arizona, I need to put a different warranty. If I sell the same product in Midwest, might have to put a different warranty because, hey, in Arizona weather, my product fails sooner. In Midwest, maybe it takes some time before it fails, so I can offer a better warranty in Midwest compared to Arizona. So that's the kind of thing. And then this is basically the complete analytical life cycle in any company. So anything starts with an issue. You have an issue at your hand, you are trying to deal with it. First thing you do is you collect data to figure out, okay, what's going on. And then you build analytics around it to give you the information about, okay, what's happening, why it's happening, how it is happening, and what we need to do. And then use that information and make a decision and take an action, and you see the outcome. So this is typically like an analytical life cycle. What was happening in Meritor, the gap between issue and the information, okay, that was huge. We were spending a huge amount of time reaching from the issue to the information. We were spending a lot of time in collecting the data, figuring out, okay, how to store it, okay, and then maybe take it out, create some reports, something, and then figure out, okay, what's going on. That was the driving force. We wanted to take this challenge and say, you know, how can we reduce the time between the issue and the information? What can we do to reduce the time and then let people make the decisions sooner than they were doing it, actually. Because if you spend a lot of time on an issue, and by the time you come to the decision, sometimes it happens that decision is not even relevant now because that problem either is gone or people found something or alternate ways of doing something, and then you spend the time for nothing. So that's what kind of was happening. So this is what basically if you want to put those 4 types of analytics together, then how much human input or human effort is involved in each one of them. So in the descriptive analytics, from analytics to the decision or action, there is a big gap where somebody needs to look at it, do something, make a decision then. In the diagnostic analysis, the gap is a little bit narrower because you have more information available now. So basically, the human involvement or the human input in making a decision is shorter. In predictive, you are getting closer because now you have simulated something, and then decision making becomes easy for you. But then in prescriptive, it is just, you don't have to worry about any human intervention. It just goes from data to decision directly, and then you can even automate it. So when I say automated, that's where maybe IoT comes in picture. So you can maybe automate your decision based on your data. So for example, in one of these conferences I was listening to, and somebody was demonstrating how you can use bot and IoT devices to control when to water your lawn, okay? So it is connected to weather. It gets the data for the weather. It analyzes it, and it says, hey, today it's going to rain. I'm not starting the sprinkler system. It makes the decision automatically and not do it. Couple days later, it's saying, what, hey, it's not rained for the last 2 days. I need to maybe water my lawn, and then automatically start the sprinkler. So that's kind of an automated decision making which comes out of this whole analytical thing. So that is basically kind of the ultimate game plan for any analytics. So what did we do then with all these kind of things in mind? What did we do to reach to the analytics we were trying to reach, and how did we do it? There's our suspension system for the trucks. So what we did, and as I said, it was IT-driven initiative. There was no push from the business for any of these kind of things, but we had needs coming from the business for a lot of these reportings and everything. So what we did, we identified a business group within the company which had the desire to use their data for decision making and make it faster. And then we took that desire and the issues they were dealing with, and we said, okay, let's do a proof of concept around it using analytics, okay? And we used the analytical tool which was readily available in market. We didn't go about hunting for the best tool for the company or what is the best we have to do or anything like that. We said, okay, whatever tool was available easily, just take it, okay? Bring something, build an analytics around the issues and the data which we have, okay, and show it to the business. So what we did, we followed pretty much agile. We said we will be thinking big, but we'll start small, and then we innovate. So that is what the strategy we adopted. That instead of doing a big bang kind of thing, our thoughts are big. We are thinking big thing that what we are going to do with analytics in this company. But then we said, okay, we will start smaller, okay, and then as we go along, we will innovate around it. So we showed the proof of concept to business customer. They loved it. Because they had not seen something like this. They loved it. We said, okay, we are good. We took that. We got a buy-in from the IT management, from our CIO, from all the business stakeholders, all the VPs and everybody. And then we launched it for that group. And we used that proof of concept as a driving force to bring other business groups in analytics. So that is what the process we pretty much followed. And then after we were done with that, then we said, okay, now let's think about what is the broader game. What is the long-term game here? The tool which we selected, is it going to fit the company in the long run, okay? Or is it a good tool for us to keep going with, or should we go and maybe change or do something about it? So we did a very exhaustive tool evaluation. So we picked the top 3 or 4 tools out in the industry, and we did a tool evaluation. Now, what we did actually, it was not that, okay, which tool is better or not better actually. All the tools available in the market today, they're all good. They all do the same thing. Maybe something is missing in one, but then something else is missing in another one, okay? So that is how it is. So there is no good or bad tool here. What we were trying to do is, what is the best fit for our company? What fits best for the need which we have, and which tool can deliver what we are looking for? And then based on that, we made a selection that what is best for our organization. Maybe something best for Another tier one company may be good, may not be good for us. So that's what the idea was, that we are not bound by any of these big reports floating around that, hey, Gartner says this tool is the best, or that is not the best, or something like that. We said, oh, we take top ones, figure out, okay, which one is good for our needs, and we go with it. Because we were not only looking for an analytical tool, we were actually looking for an analytical platform. We were looking for something which gives me the whole platform. It's just not like a tool to build the dashboard. We were looking for everything which is involved, not just the dashboard, but hey, on the data prep side, the tool can help me with that. Okay, delivery model of the tool, all these kind of things, what governance it provides, how security is handled, a lot of these considerations, and we had an exhaustive list of points on which evaluated this tool. And then we chose the tool which was the best fit for us, and then we went about converting all those dashboards which we already delivered to business into the new tool. And then we started organizing a lot of training. So first thing we did is we started from within the IT, because we said, hey, all the functional IT groups we have, they will be our best salesmen to go and sell it to the business customer. Because the functional IT for HR, they will be talking to HR on a daily basis. Okay, so they will be the best people to tell them or suggest them that we have this kind of a platform and what we can do for you in this platform. So that's when we started training our IT people. And then we started training our GPMs, which is like in Meritor, we have this global process managers for each functional area. So we started training them. We started telling them, okay, what is the vision here, what we are trying to do, or where we are trying to head with this whole thing. So that they can go and then they can sell it to their functional group. Okay. So where do we stand right now with this whole thing? So this is one of our transfer box and air brake for the trucks. So today we have a single global enterprise-wide analytical platform. Across the globe, there were a lot of business people, they were using different tools. So this came from the very top level of the management, from our CIO, and went down that, hey, this is the platform. Anything happening around the analytics in this company has to be in this tool. Okay, so that put an end to anything, people going and downloading the tools and trying to build something on their own, and then eventually coming to IT and say, you know what, we want to use it. Can you maybe put it on the server and do something like that? So we just put an end to it. We said, okay, this is going to be the tool for the analytics in this company. And then we defined a process for business customers to follow if they have any needs around analytics. It was not like, okay, somebody is just saying, okay, what do I do now? I mean, we have the tool, everything, so how do I get it? So we have a process which every business customer have to follow, and then using that, they can then basically bring their data, okay, and then start building the analytics. So today we have, and we actually went in production with this whole thing in last year, August, September timeframe. So August, September 2018, that's where this whole platform became available to the company. And then since then, we have about 10 different dashboards, and then for supply chain, purchasing, warranty, even our legal department, we do a lot of, every manufacturing company has a lot of legal matters they are dealing with, lawsuits, things around like environmental hazard and everything like that. So they are also basically having a dashboard and they are using it. And then we have one for logistics where they are trying to figure out, okay, how we can best use our carriers, or how the carriers are performing. Are we doing good with them? Can we switch to another carrier and maybe save some money? Or what we can do with the whole logistics area. We have at least 20 different dashboards in development right now across every functional area. We have one for finance, so a lot of data coming from HFM, and then that's where they are looking for some tool which they can use to build the analytics and then maybe do a little bit better, because we are having HFM as our financial tool, And most of the time, people are using a SmartView, which is available from HFM, as a tool to look into the financial data and then maybe make any decisions out of it. And then, so what we are seeing now, that an increased awareness in the business customer for analytics. Earlier, people were not even sure about it, didn't even know that, okay, there are these kinds of possibilities within their data, or maybe this is the way they can look at their data, or maybe they can make some decisions which are not really obvious from the data. So because sometimes you look at your data and there are few things which are very obvious. You can look at it and you can say, oh, I'm doing bad here, and this is why I'm doing bad. It's easy to figure it out. Sometimes there are something hidden in your data which is not really obvious. You don't really see it when you are looking at an Excel report or something like that. We wanted to focus on that also, that, hey, what we are trying to do is give you the information to look at what is obvious, but also look at what is not very obvious from your data. So that is what the main focus was. And now, business customers, every single business group I have gone to the company, and I have shown this platform and then the dashboards and possibilities of what you can do. There is not a single one who questioned about, okay, maybe this is not what we need right now. They were all excited, and then the first thing they asked me, okay, when can I get something for my department or for my functional area? So that is then the kind of awareness we have now in the business group around this whole analytics things we are doing. Then what we are trying to do now is actually move into that self-service model. So what we are doing is we are taking business customers, we are telling them, we are educating them that we have to have at least one kind of a data scientist role in each department, and they will be responsible for building all of these dashboards which they need, okay? Because it's not possible for everybody to come to IT and say, hey, you know what, build something for me, because then eventually we are going to run out of resources, run out of time, and there would be a huge backlog. So frequent training for business users on how to use the tool. So there is one for developers who will be actually developing the dashboards, for them to build the dashboard, and there is one for the business customers who are going to use it, so to teach them that, okay, how you use this tool and how you can maybe find the information what you're looking for from this tool. So that's like two different tracks of training we are doing. And then today, we have a huge backlog of analytical projects. So it's not project, actually. There are requests coming from all directions in the company about the analytics. And that actually forced us to go into the self-service model sooner than what we were anticipating. We were anticipating that, okay, we probably start this as an IT thing, and then eventually we roll it out into business and make it self-service. But then the way the demand is coming for the analytics, we said, okay, this is probably the right time now for us to move into the self-service model and then train our people, our business customer, and let them do the dashboards instead of we trying to do everything for them. And so that's where the self-service, and then one thing we made sure that IT owns the platform. So we own the platform, we own the governance around the platform, and we own the security around the platform. So we control that, okay? We facilitate the data for you. We do the data prep part for you. We facilitate that. We made it available in the analytical platform for you. And we control who can do what in the platform, okay? So we are not going to leave it free, because if you leave it free, it's kind of grows out of your hand, and eventually you are in a situation now it's grown so big, how to control it or something like that. So that is where we decided that IT will always own the platform, facilitate the data, do the data prep and everything, and we will let the business users develop the dashboards or whatever they are trying to build, okay? So that's what we are doing now. And now business, there is one more thing which is happening is that business is now understanding the data issues, and they are motivated to fix it. Most of the time, earlier what used to happen is they will have some issue with the data, they will completely throw it at IT. It's your problem, not mine. Figure it out, fix it, do whatever. So basically, IT used to own the data issues and how to fix them, and then that whole process. What is happening now with this thing, we are giving the data in the analytics. They are looking at the things, they're looking at the issues with the data, and they know it now that these issues, how these issues are actually not helping them in making the right decision. So they are motivated to fix it, and not only fix it, to own it. So that's what we are trying to do, put the ownership of the data with the business, put the ownership of the data cleansing, data quality with the business. We are helping them, but we don't own it. I mean, they own it. They will do whatever needed to be done, and we are just doing the facilitation part. So, and then the security and the governance around the analytical platform. And one thing which happened, which was that now business is ready to spend money. Instead of we going and asking for the money for any analytical project, they are now coming to us and saying, hey, we have the money. Can I get my dashboard sooner? Okay, so hey, I'm ready to put the money. Just give me the dashboard. That's what's happening now, that they are ready to put the money, and that's how we are trying to handle it. Now, hey, if there are needs, internally we facilitate everything around the data, like platform, security and everything, and we hire people from outside to fulfill the dashboard development need until that business customers are fully trained and they go into the self-service model. So then these are a bunch of the dashboards which we have in production, which are being used on a daily basis right now. So what are we looking for as a future vision? Where do we go from here? This is our MTIS, Meritor Tire Inflation System. It's a pretty neat product we have developed, which automatically sends the tire pressure and fills it up in the truck. So if the truck tire pressure goes down, this thing will kick on, fill up the pressure, and just do it. So there is some component of IoT being used here. It's been used in like all these heavy trucks where if your pressure goes down, there is a lot of maintenance issue with the trucks. So where do we go from here? So what we are trying actually, as part of this whole thing, we are trying to shift the skill sets. We are saying instead of business analyst, we think about data scientists now. We are not saying that we have business analysts in functional area and they are kind of doing this data analysis. We are trying to make them as data scientists. We are trying to build that data scientist skills in Meritor and train them in that skill so that they are not only just looking at the data, but they are actually churning the data. They are trying to make some useful information and then come to the decision from that. And then help the organization in building the data governance. That's one piece which we are missing in the company. There was no kind of a data governance. So the data ownership, database or data approvals, whether my information or the data is like maybe secret, confidential, whatever that is, there was nothing like that. So there was nobody who was ready to own the data governance. This thing actually started the whole discussion about data governance, because now people are saying, we are looking at all this data in the dashboard, okay? How do we control it? How do we make sure that the right people have right access, and then people who should not have access should not have access? So that has started the whole data governance discussion around the data in Meritor. One more thing which we are trying to do now is start building ROI on our analytics. So whatever analytics we are delivering, we are trying to put some ROI around it to emphasize that, okay, you know what, this is what you are getting out of it. It's not that, okay, you are getting an analytics, but you are getting some value out of it. So that's the value we are trying to build in our analytics now. And then we are also trying to eliminate all these information silos which we had. As I said, okay, earlier, in our past state of the analytics, we had a lot of access databases floating around in the company, maybe, I don't know, probably more than 50 of them going around in the company. And some of them are actually being used to make decisions on the shop floor, on the production shop floor. So we are trying to get rid of all of those and see, okay, if we can bring them into the analytical platform. And then we are also driving business towards master data management. Now, there was no discussion about master data management. The moment we started analytics and started combining data from the functional groups, suddenly we ran into we just hit the wall. Hey, I cannot join my warranty data with the quality data because, hey, all my supplier information, product information, everything is different in both the system. How do I bring them together? So now we are starting that whole discussion about master data management. We are trying to enforce the master data management as we go along the analytics, so that if I'm using one functional area, tomorrow if I'm going to bring another functional area data, so for example, if warranty wants to see if my product is failing in the third year of life every time, can I get hold of my lab data and look at my testing data and see what's going on with this testing of these products? Or maybe can I look at my quality data and see how we are doing the quality checks on these products, okay, what we are doing wrong? Can I get hold of my engineering data to see, hey, there was any design change or anything which happened to this product which may be contributing to this failure or something like that. There are a lot of these possibilities, but with not having any master data management, we are kind of stuck right now. So that's what we are doing. We are building that master data management as we go along in this analytical journey, and we have a buy-in from the business for the master data management. So it is not like an IT-owned process now. It's like Meritor-owned process, and everybody is involved in the master data management. And then we have this initiative going on around Industry 4.0. We want to make all of our factories smart factories. We are trying to put a lot of sensors to our products to get a lot of information from the product's life cycle. So that is what's going to drive the predictive analytics, prescriptive and automative analysis. So that is what we are trying to do as a next step. And what we are trying to do now, we know the data better than we did in the past. So we are trying to build some KPIs for the company, which are like confirmed KPIs, well-defined, and then which can be used by all the functional groups. That is what another push we are going to do. Then we are also having an IoT proof-of-concept going on, where we are trying to put a lot of these IoT devices on our shop floor. One which we are doing right now is we are trying to put a lot of IoT devices on our data center, okay, and trying to figure out, okay, what's going on in the data center and collect a lot of information from those data center. It's happening like minute by minute, and we are putting this data into the analytical platform to give like visibility to the data to everybody in the management that, hey, what's going on with our data center. And then next step, which we are trying to do, is bring unstructured data. That's probably like that next step would be for us to move into some data lake or Hadoop kind of environment. And then this is one other thing which we are trying to push through in the company is putting data as a commodity, to push that thinking in the business. Hey, your data is your commodity, actually. It's your biggest asset. And it's not only just the data, it's kind of a revenue for you. So that your data is revenue stream. It's not just the data which is sitting there. We collect unbelievable amount of data from various sources in the company, but we never realize, okay, how worth the data is. So that's what we are trying to push through now. The data is a revenue stream in the company. And what we kind of learned, and some kind of quick tips I wanted to talk about, which we considered or which we did not consider and realize that we should have considered those things. This is our suspension for the trailer. So for trailers, this is what the suspension looks like. So this is one thing which we realized, that since we involved our business customer in the tool evaluation, the adoption was very easy for us. When we were doing this evaluation of the tools, we involved them. All the power users in the business, we put all these tools in their hands, we let them play with it, and let them tell us, okay, what they think about it. So what happened actually, that even before we decided and launched the product, the business customer, they were aware of what's coming, and then the adoption was very easy. We did not have to push through it. And then this actually, in some ways, like third to the last point here is the partnership, but not the dictatorship. That goes with that, actually. We did a partnership with our business. And instead of forcing this as a IT-driven platform, we did not bring it as a, hey, this is a platform which IT is driving. We said, okay, it's a platform which we collectively driving in Meritor, and we made our business customer partner to it. And then the adoption becomes easy because they are not saying that it is something IT decided and then just putting on us. Because a lot of time it happens, IT decides something and then business, they say, oh, we don't have any choice. IT is saying we have to do it, we have to do it. But then in this process, they were involved, so they are actually motivated to accept it and use it now. Now, always find an enthusiastic stakeholder in the company. That's what we did. We found the stakeholder in our supply chain department who were ready to be along with us on this journey and then help us with building that proof of concept I was talking about. And then quick turnaround is the key. So what happens, and I always tell people that any analytical project which takes more than 6 weeks, it's a failure. Because by the time it reaches the customer, the enthusiasm is gone. So if it takes like a long time, the traditional kind of a waterfall kind of approach, where you just go through that whole project management and takes like 6 months or 1 year to deliver something, by the time you deliver it, people already have figured out other ways of doing it. They probably had created another Excel file which does what they're looking for, or maybe an Access database. So that was the key for us, how we do the quick turnaround, okay? And then we followed Agile, as I said, think big, start small and innovate. Now, one more thing which kind of I always try to do is, when you are doing analytical project is very different than any other IT project we do. So any other IT project you do follows a different pattern, but analytical projects follow a different pattern. So I never try to find the perfection in my work which I'm doing. Not, when I say perfection, it doesn't mean that you just put something together and just deliver it to the business. You have to build like nice looking dashboard. What I mean by perfection is, if we try to fulfill every need of customer in one shot and deliver it, you will never be able to deliver it. Because there is no dashboard in the world which is perfect. You cannot take any dashboard and say, hey, it's the perfect dashboard I ever built. Every dashboard will have something which is missing in it. And if you start looking at something and say, okay, let me fix this too, you will never be able to deliver it. So that's what the focus we have now. We take the need, take the 2 or 3 critical ones, build something around that, deliver it, work on other ones, okay, let them start using the previous ones and figure out, okay, what's going on while we build the other things. So there is one thing what I mean when I say don't try to be perfect, and I always give that example. If you have a written page, you can always go back to it and edit it, right? You cannot edit a blank page. So if you put a page, pen and paper in front of you, and you don't write anything on it, how would you go back and edit it if you need to? You have to write something so that you can go back and edit it. So that is what the process we should be following when we are doing the analytical process. And then motivates business to take ownership of the analytics and analytical platform. They need to own it. If it's a IT-driven process or IT-driven system, it will always be an issue. They will never be motivated to work with you to fix any issues or concerns coming up. They will always be, hey, it's an IT problem, IT will deal with it. So that's what we did actually, that involve your business customer and let them take the ownership. And as I said, partnership, not the dictatorship. We don't want the dictatorship from IT. Hey, this is what I'm saying, you have to do it. No, you are involved in it. You will help us in making the decision, and we make the decision collectively and then move forward. So that's one thing which we did. Then always talk about opportunities, not the hurdles. In analytics world, there are tons of opportunities and maybe more hurdles than opportunities. But we cannot sit down and say, you know what, hey, I will remove every hurdle and then move along. So we need to look at what the opportunities are available in analytics which can help the business, and that's what actually we did. And then last thing would be that be a salesperson. So what I mean by that, you have to sell this analytical platform to every other person in the company. So you have to be acting like a salesman, because it's kind of, you show it to people and then they will get to it. And this is, you probably might be wondering, I'm talking about analytics and there are no charts in my presentation, right? So what kind of analytics I'm talking about? So you have all these charts which we do deal with. But one thing I always tell people, a dashboard with good-looking chart is not always the best dashboard, okay? So the concept here that, okay, the beautiful things are always useful, probably doesn't work. It does in some cases, but not always. So the beauty doesn't go with the usefulness here. So you can put beautiful charts available in the market. I had seen one chart somebody did in Power BI, which was like an aquarium kind of chart, okay? But are your business people able to understand the chart? That's probably the most important part here. So with that, I come to the conclusion right at the last minute. Thanks, Lisa. Okay, so if you have any Q&A, do we have time, Lisa, for? Okay, but you have my information. Yeah, you have my information. This will be shared with you guys. If you have any questions or concerns, maybe just let me know and I'll try to answer. Thank you for coming.